Welcome to another edition of KitSZN episode 5. I know in some of the material we had 4. I was going to tell you about that, but we're episode 5 tonight.
Look at our chart. We're on episode 4 of our discussions.
Oh, yeah, because the one was the interview. Yeah, never mind. Boom. I have confused you. We have confused both of us. Anyways, we're on another episode here at KitSZN with you lovely people, rating some fun kits. And if you paid attention, we had a fun guest here joining us tonight. So, and also, we're both wearing red right now.
Yeah, we didn't even plan that.
We didn't even coordinate that. So, as always, I wanted to quickly start off here tonight's episode with a thank you to our patrons down below: Michael Fuchs, Joshua Duder, Noah Telford, Alberto Aguilar, Jeremy Churchman, Stephen Howard, Ryan Lacara, Tim Knox, and Avrej30, MOS, Kunal Patel, and obviously thank you to goals.tv for exclusive content on goals.tv. And apparently, according to Michael, my screen turned black. So
it wasn't just me. It's usually my internet.
I think it is my end. So this is too great. And as Taylor pointed out, 2 goats. We love doing what we're doing with maybe a third guest here tonight. We'll add to that. So without further ado here, kind of want to just hop into it, I guess.
Yeah.
Can we jump into it?
Introduce our guests.
Yes. Let's welcome to our show tonight, Jack here. Welcome to the show.
What's up?
Hey guys, thanks for having me on. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah. Funny thing about meeting Jack, actually, Fox and I had recently won things on Jack's Instagram account, and kind of kept in touch. Obviously, I think this man you Jack a little bit, and here you are, right?
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of all brought together by a mutual love of kids, right?
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. So for those of you who don't know, which is weird, but Jack, do you want to give like a little bit of spiel?
Yeah, basically.
You are what you do. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, guys. So my name is Jack Grimmse. I create content about a lot of stuff, a lot of different topics in soccer. Obviously, kits. You'll see. This is kind of like the Aston Villa section of my collection. I'm a big Villa fan, and some people probably know me from that content. But I've been working in soccer and decided to kind of bring some of that expertise and passion to my personal social channels, and now kind of putting more of a focus onto YouTube this year. And so that's one of the reasons I'm really happy to be here with you folks, and also just talk about kits and keep growing the game, and especially in America.
Yeah, no, honestly,
sir.
Yeah, I love that. That's one of the things that we wanted to highlight with this show too, is the USL has a lot of good content that needs to be talked about, and more voices, the better, right?
Yep, more kits into snow.
Yes.
I try not to, poke fun about Jack put his jersey in the snow again.
Yeah, I'm like wondering if one of them's gonna melt away sometime, but they just keep looking so good. I'm like, I just have to keep doing this.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I love that.
It did make me laugh so for some reason our KitSZN Instagram wasn't following your account, so we finally just mutually followed each other on Instagram, and the first thing suggested was Aston Villa.
What were the other suggestions? Because I'm always curious of like, okay, how do I get discovered, or how to what are people kind of associating the accounts with?
The first one, the only one I strictly remember was the Aston Villa, because I'm like, it was so Jack. I'm like, that just makes sense.
Okay, good to know.
Hey, at least you're repping your team quite well enough so that when it happens, they're popping up. So
yeah, I mean, I was doing a Villa podcast maybe even 10 years ago, and the times then were not so good. So today I'm just really happy to be here, and it's it kind of makes it easy.
Hey, I will say it seems like our resident Taylor is Villa. Man, I think he's saying
no, he's not.
No, he's not. Okay, I don't know any of this.
TV.
So TV. What does that mean?
Oh yeah, I mean it's usually used by Villa fans, and it's blank on the city usually against their moving city. So
Oh,
And that explains the
against
next
Villa
comment.
and
SOTC.
yeah.
Yeah.
yep. And Taylor clarifies. Yep, anti-Villa.
Yeah.
Yep.
Poop on the Villa.
Okay.
Got it. Cool. Got it. Yep.
Okay. Cool.
All right. Well,
I'm
thanks
learning
for
yeah.
ruining our guest. Appreciate you, Taylor. And that's our boss.
Anyway,
Well,
Yeah.
we have a job to do, and we brought Jack on to do our job with us, and that's to rate some lower league soccer kits.
yes.
As he just posted below, our scoring is based on 4 essential categories. We have the design and aesthetics, authenticity and tradition, visual details and execution, and innovation and impact. I just realized that all 4 of our things are actually 8. All 4 of them all have ands in it. That's ridiculous. But
Yeah, it's hard to boil it down, right? Like especially with some of these things. I like how you've grouped the categories. I will say it is difficult when a club has only been around for 1 year.
Authenticity and tradition, yeah.
Yeah, that's something that we've learned. So we're 4th season now. We've had 2 different rubrics, and we've been trying to incorporate, especially as USL grows rapidly, try to entice in that tradition part. And I think this is the best job we've done so far. So
Yeah. We finally broke it down to where we could be able to talk about, like, are they connecting with the city? Are they being authentic to where they're at?
Yeah, exactly. And like kind of true to their, even if it's their visual identity, which I think we'll see tonight on some of these kits, they definitely are, or they honor that local connection.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And speaking of local connections here, I'm going to pop up this very first one here tonight. And this is what I have dubbed the Texoma, a bold look for a new era kit here. This is, let me pop this up. Oh my goodness. There it is. The new Texoma kit. And this one, as we kind of talked about, is, Fonts and I always trying to harp on some map kits. We think that trend's dying. It's been overplayed, especially here in the USL last few years when San Diego started that years ago and then just kind of exploded.
Yeah.
It's back here, but honestly, this kit's kind of grown on us a little bit the more we look at it, right?
Yeah. Jack, what's your initial thoughts?
Yeah.
My initial thoughts, and maybe it was because I was talking about this earlier, but it kind of gave me some Kylo Ren vibes. I was thinking like, okay, we got some red lightsabers in the back, but yeah, you guys give me some homework to do and looking into these and sharing the rubrics, and I found that very interesting. But I went on a deep dive after seeing this one. I thought the jersey reveal was pretty epic, and like you were saying about the map kits, if your club puts out a kit and it has a map and you're from that area, like you're probably going to buy that kit. So, and especially if you do it well.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm the same way. Like, there's a lot of these kits that, like, I kind of harp on, but then I know in my heart, I'm like, if Louisville came out with this kit, I'm buying it automatically.
Yeah.
So, like, it's going to be one of those things. Like, this is definitely a local kit. So anybody representing Texoma, you're going to love this jersey.
Yeah.
You're going to want it. You're going to have it in your collection automatically.
And something that we've talked about, it's hard to go against it, even if the trend might be stale. It's hard to be negative about it.
It's not overly mappy either, right? At first, it gave me that red and white stripes vibe, almost. Maybe I was just thinking too much of Sheffield United, but or Stoke City, but it works even without the map.
Yeah. And I think that's the important part with this kit, right? Like, it's still a solid kit. The map just enhances it. And Taylor down below, he loves map kits and is very happy to see more map kits.
Yeah.
So, all right. So,
ratings.
Yes. So I actually don't have your ratings here, Jack. So, do you want to start us off here, or do you want us to go through ours first here? This is kind of
I mean, I'm happy to jump in any time, either if it's after you two give yours, or I could start on this one. I think this one, in terms of design and aesthetics, I gave it a 4. I thought it was a a strong design with minor flaws, and I did feel like that was a kind of harsh 4. I like the two-tone collar, the cuffs. I think that all went together pretty well.
Yeah.
Well, we know Hummel is going to do a really great job with most kits, and this one obviously being another custom kit is no exception.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and that's kind of I think Fox. I actually gave it a 5 personally for its overall design aesthetics. I think this flowed really well. As much as you mentioned this is like basically a Sheffield United or a Stoke City kit at first glance. There's a reason a lot of clubs use that red white stripe with a black collar. It just looks really good. It's hard to really mess that up. And as you can kind of see here, everything just kind of flows. It flows well. The colors pop, and I think it's really well done in that perspective, right? I can't knock it at all from that point. So yeah, I give it a 5 in design aesthetics point for me.
Yeah, for design and aesthetics, I also gave a 4, just like Jack was saying. Actually, it's not bad at all. Like super smooth. I really like how everything fits. The only thing that my minor flaw is that, like, I don't know, maybe choose between the 2 designs that you did. Now, I feel like they did well, but it's like we got the stripes, we got the map kit, and they meshed it together, and it's just a minor flaw for that. Like, I still like it, but it just almost gets a little busy.
I couldn't tell it was a map at first because it also said it has that magnolia white and bold red colors. Yeah. And I thought it kind of looked like a map, but then I read that and I said, is it a magnolia? But yeah, again, that's really kind of nitpicking.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's a strong 4. If you give it like a 4.5.
And this is their first kit, their first home kit, right, in the club's history.
Which honestly, for what we've seen from clubs like Westchester, I know Fox, you said there's a bunch of sublimated details in that Westchester kit, but seeing kids from like Texoma, Portland, Hearts of Pine comes to mind. I think another good example is Knoxville. Seeing more clubs really come out the gate swinging, and this is a good example of that. I like it.
Yes, sir. Authenticity and tradition. So this one's a hard one. We were actually just talking about this, I think, before we started with Jack. And it's hard to say you have tradition when it's your first season.
Yes.
So you have to tie a little bit harder on the authenticity. Stripes and Mecca is too much. Sorry, I was reading Kayla's comment. So it's hard to be, traditional with your past.
Yep.
And with that, I feel like they are going with who they are. They are Texoma. They're going to do their map kit, and it's a smart move. If you're going to go local, they went local.
Yeah.
I mean, they could do a statue like Birmingham has done, or like Indy's whole badge.
Yep.
So there's other things they could do as well, but it's a safe move. It was a 4 from me.
Yeah. And I would say after all this, we've convinced Taylor that stripes and map is too much. So we're already making progress here as someone, Taylor's
convincing people over.
Yes. Small process. But yeah, no. I kind of lean towards that as well. Like, I give it a 4 for authenticity. Because I said, I think right here with what they're doing, establishing a red and white stripe, that's not something that I can think of in the USL. And I think it's a strong thing building that tradition that already stands out that you don't see anywhere else. And I'd even almost argue most of U.S. soccer. The only other thing that comes up to mind are stripes is Atlanta United, the 5 stripes. Outside of that, I can't really think of too many teams that have bold stripe. I know Charleston has theirs, but not many have red and white.
Yep.
And I think building that off, even if it is their first kit, is a strong indicator and that's why to me it's a 4 there.
Yeah, I actually did give it a 5 because, and maybe I was suckered in by the marketing and the the reveal video, but with the hype video, it hyped me up. I do really like and it's probably more for the next category, but I do really like the extra wide badge and how it has the white background but with the red birds on it, and it kind of spans that stripe. And like we were saying, if your hometown is on that kit, that's the tradition. The tradition is the local traditions.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and honestly, as we talked about, I think it was a few weeks ago with I'm forgetting the name. It's the League 2 team. They were from like not Fox Valley. Where was it? Oh yeah, it was AV Alta. I learned more about that area with their kits. I had to learn about what the Antelope Valley was. In this case, I'm learning more about what's it called, the Texoma region. Even though I've been there a few times, I'm learning more about it, and I think that's what is good about a kit like this. Kind of figure out more about that without having to do deep dive research into it.
Visual details and execution. Brett, start us off.
Yeah, I will say this. Sorry, AV Alta. Yes, yep. Sorry, I did mean AV Alta. AV Alta AV. Yes.
Because the badge says AV Alta and then a big AV, so it's all the AVs.
Yes, them. So what I will say when it comes to visual details and execution, I want to give this a 3 though, and I gave it only a 3 here just for the simple reason that while there was detail in the map, outside of the map, I didn't see any other details that I tend to look for. Obviously, the cuffs were kind of a little bit of a detail thrown in with the black with the white middle, or the white with the black stripes. I generally look for things a little bit more subtle into it. There, I didn't quite see that from my perspective for this Texoma kit, so it only gets a 3 from me. Not terrible at but still 3.
What about you, Jack? What did you think?
I also gave this a 3. I think the sponsor is not a perfect integration due to the colors, and some of that is a sleeve sponsor, and there are more important things than having the perfect color of your sponsor. If that's their colors and they're the one who's writing the checks,
right?
Your answer going to be tied a little bit. So I can't knock them too much for that. I did like the badge and how that fit onto the kit.
Right.
It's balanced. The Homo logo looks good, and they didn't try to overdo it, I think, on too many things. And I did actually like the collar and the trim on that with the sleeve. So
yeah,
I think 3 is fair.
As Taylor's kind of pointing out, if there were more details, if there were other details besides stripes in that map, it would be a bit of a visual overload. And I kind of understand that, but still points off because there aren't a lot of details.
For everything execution wise, I did give this a 4. It is a lot, like Kaylor, or like I was saying, but like Kaylor's mentioning just now. And I felt like they still did a good job though at smushing everything together, as my 2-year-olds would say, smush. So I enjoy what they did. I like the fine details of the collar, the sleeves. So it was a 4 for me.
Yeah.
And our last section is the innovation and impact. And I'll start this off because I gave it a 3 because they did stripes, they did map kit, and the innovation part of that is kind of falling off at this point for me personally, because we've seen it so many times at this point. But they did try to innovate with the map kit by mixing the stripes into it. But I agree with what you were saying earlier, Brett, with making this into their thing, using the red and white stripes. I hope they keep that going.
Yeah. And that's where I also gave it a 3. I don't think it's truly innovative, as we've seen with like Loudon kits last year with the pin wheel. I love that. This seems like, again, as I always preface, a home kit that is going to be their future with the red and white stripes, and it doesn't have to be innovative for a home kit, in my opinion. And I think this does a good job of establishing that.
Yeah, that's true. I think the home kit should be traditional, and you could be rating their next home kit in a year or two and thinking, okay, does it pay respects to this one, which is the establishing home kit? I also gave it a 4. I think they gave it a good shot with the patterns, and it was more than mildly interesting. So I think that's why I had to give it a 4.
That's fair. No, and with my score of 4, Fox's with 3.75 and a 3.88, I think that more than mildly interesting overall, it's kind of the score of this kit. Like, it's more when you look into it, but it's not in the middle of the road, but it's not the top of the top type of kits that we come see in terms of creativity and all that. So, and I didn't calculate yours, Jack. So, what was your overall score when you just?
My overall ended up being a 4. I had 2 4s, a 5, and a 3. So
okay,
perfect 4.
So it fits right into our average. So yeah, so I think this kit speaks for itself. It's a good swinging inaugural home kit, and as they've told, a bold look for a brand new era in Texoma. Honestly, looking forward to seeing more from this. And before we move on here, real quick, any other final thoughts on this Texoma kit?
I mean, the red and white stripes is a classic. It will look good on the pitch. So
yeah, this is definitely a good, solid start to build off of. So I hope they keep going with the red and white stripes. I hope they keep playing with it. Like, I think it was AC Milan. They have the black and red stripes. They've been kind of playing with them here and there.
Yeah, the also
so I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
And for the sake of time, do you think we should do the next two together?
Yes.
Same jersey.
Yep. And what I'll say before we move on, Taylor wants a point to throw this out there. Texoma's badge is almost made to be a center crest, a center badge, which Fox, I know you love.
Yeah, I love center badges.
Birds being in the middle would be amazing.
Yeah, especially because it's already a little oversized.
Exactly.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I think, maybe that's an away kit, a black with the center crest. I'm just saying that would stand out. So up next, I'm going to, shall we pivot to, so we're going to go to a place that I actually had just went to 2 weeks ago. We're going to hit up the McKinney Jubitacabras in what I've dubbed the White Claw and the Black Claw kits. I actually got to see these at the local store there in downtown McKinney called the Pro Rel Shop. It's a great little store, a bunch of lower league soccer kits that you're able to see down there. Great little store, and I got to see these kits down there. So it was kind of coincidence that these are now being rated on the show. But overall, this is to me a USL League 2 team type of a kit. It's not a Ballard type of creativity or even a Lane United one that I'm wearing tonight, but it seems more like the standard League 2, not super template-y, but somewhere in between a template and like full creative type of texture. And overall, I think it's a solid design by the Jubitacabras.
Yeah, it's definitely not a bad start because this is also an inaugural season. But this is definitely like I designed this for my high school team that I'm coaching. You know what I mean? Like, because we're the Wildcats, so it's just like, hey, can we get a claw stripe? So, but I have it as a sash, but that's just me. So it's,
I would say it is better than just the template.
Yes. It's kind of what we've dubbed with like Colorado, with Northern Colorado, who are now dead. They kind of made their own template, and this seems like their own type of a template, and therefore it gets some points from me there.
Yep. So yeah, like I said, we're gonna do these two kits together because they're essentially the same kit.
Yeah.
I did give one a 0.1 difference just so I could give it slightly better.
I hate you broke the math by doing that, by the way.
I know I broke the math, but I personally like the black kits just this much better, just because it makes the blue pop more.
Yeah.
So the black is just this much better. But design and aesthetics, I'll start it off. I give it a 3. It's a very average kit. It's not bad looking. It's not ugly or anything like that. It's just there. So, and that's about all I could say for it.
What I will say personally, even though it is a bit more on the simple side, I like the dual colored claws on the side, and I like how that's kind of the main focus of the kit. Yes, it's on the simple side. I think that's pretty clear today to see, but I think it does overall design look well to me. So I think it's a 4 for me in that regard.
I also give it a 3. Like we're saying, it's a little basic and templatey, but the claws are great and better than having just the one color claw. Kind of like what Fox said about the details kind of popping on the black one. I think on the white, the badge sticks out well also. So, they are by and large the same, but that's not a problem for me.
Right. Yeah, and like especially when these League 2 or these teams that have their own template, if it's a good template, I don't mind them reusing it.
And when black and white are your colors.
Yeah.
Right.
Because if you look at the badge and all the other gear and stuff, it's a lot of black and white, and then the blue popping.
Yep.
Off those.
Definitely.
So
and as Taylor points out, this is nicer than a lot of League 2 teams, but it's compared to other kits that we've done, it is
subpar.
Yeah. So I think that's exactly what we're
tough competition. I did like on the back of the shirt, I think on the website it showed with a name set kind of mocked up. It said Chupacabras with these fangs below the C and the S, and if that was on part of the name set, that could easily boost it a whole point.
Right.
But I'm not sure if that's what's going to actually be part of the font when that comes out.
That would be sick if if I got Fox on the back and I had the fangs coming down. Yeah, that would give me an extra point. Authenticity and tradition. Jack, start us off.
It has respect to the authenticity. It feels like a Chupacabra grabbed you on the sides, but like we said, it's a new team again, right? A new team this year. That's tough to go with, and it wasn't as strong as obviously the map, but it does have a connection to the club's identity, so I give it a 4.
Okay. I gave this a 3. And I agree with what you're saying, because it's going to be really hard, especially as a fresh League 2 team, because League 2 is amateur side, and unless if you've had a organization for a while now and just bought into League 2 or something, it's going to be hard to just throw out the cash needed to design and produce extra interesting kits. But the fact that they were being able to do that, sorry, Kayla's distracted me. So I give it a 3.
Yeah. And I gave it a 3 as well. I think outside of the claws on the side, I can't really pinpoint this to being super authentic. I like that little touch. I wish there was a little bit more to, I would want to say to McKinney itself, to kind of tie it into the city that they're in. Just having the Chupacabra claws, which is a tie to their name. I wanted to see more, so I think 3 is right in the middle. I think that's just fine for them.
Now to visual details and execution. Brett, what'd you get?
Sorry. I'm just reading Taylor's note here. Didn't a nameplate with Fox with fangs on the word Fox might be the most UW thing I have ever heard.
I don't know what UWU is.
Maybe we're into
It's one of those like text-based emojis.
Oh.
It's like one of those like cute face, I think.
Oh, Pops. Are we getting old, my man?
I'm so old, dude.
No, that's like one of those. That's like one of those really old ones. That was like before emojis.
I didn't do cute faces though, because I'm just a normal dude. I don't know.
I think it's like internet like terminology.
I wasn't really into like anime and all that until honestly, like late college, and that was back in 2013.
I mean, I could also be tremendously wrong. So.
hey, the only thing I know, Fox, you and I are out of touch with whatever language Taylor's speaking, and I think we're like all the same age. So
nah, that's cat, bro. Skibbity, Ohio, something about that.
Yeah,
I disagree.
Moving on, I'm going into the visual details and execution.
Yeah,
I gave it a 1 for me. Like I said, outside of the veins on the side, there's nothing else to this kit. That's all I can give it. Yeah. Just fangs on the side, or claws. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, like it's one of those things. It's not bad looking, but I still give it a 1. There's nothing special about it. Maybe this should have been more with the innovation, and I did give the black one a 1.1 for this one, just because it pops slightly better.
Right.
I mean, if that's enough to boost you up a point, I also gave it a 2 in that category.
Yeah.
Okay. And then that leaves us with the innovation impact. And I'm gonna say I gave it oh shoot, you're seeing my thing. I gave it a 3 for that. I do think having the multicolored fangs is definitely something I haven't personally seen quite a bit. Even though I think it's still a mild impact, it's not something that's groundbreaking, but it's something that I don't normally do. So I gave it a 3 there.
What about you, Jack?
I thought it was mildly interesting, and that was enough to earn a 3 in that category from me too. It was a template, so it did feel generic, but it could have been much more template-y.
Yeah. As we've seen from Puma especially, they love their bumblebee kits as what we call them. So I was happy to see them a little different.
Yeah.
Then I gave it a 2. Maybe the words mildly interesting could have sold me a little bit more, but I love that. That's the thing that just attached you to the rubric.
I really like the criteria, guys.
I was really proud of that rubric.
It's good.
But yeah, I mean, it's a white kit, it's a black kit, and they put some claw stickers on there, which arguably they could be tiger stripes, they could be Wildcats, they could be whatever team you want. They could be Puma claws.
Yeah, I don't think they ordered a bespoke chupacabra claw. Now that you mentioned it, but
poor Kaylor. Kaylor said, I remember being excited for the Beehive kits, but then I saw every Puma team release have a Beehive. Yeah.
That's actually the I actually got from Jack here in the little giveaway. It was a Osnabrück Beehive kit, actually. So
exactly, I was gonna say I had one and I actually did like it. I think it works really well, but
it does.
Did end up giving it away, obviously.
Brentford should have had it.
But yeah, so I think what we're from the McKinney Chupacabras here, I think they created a fun little template with them. I think they have some nice fun colors to play with, black and white with that blue. I think they have some good possibilities with that. But this is still a League 2 team doing a League 2 kit, which is to me a 275, 228 from Fox with the 2.51. It's slightly below an average kit, subpar overall.
But it's bang average. It's the middle.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Right. That's what I had as 3.
Yeah.
I think we were saying before the show. I'm also trying to consider they are a League 2 club. They have a League 2 budget and those resources. So the fact that they weren't able to just turn out a plain template with a badge and a sponsor in their first season, I think I was able to incorporate that and keep them to 3.
And it was, if I did it right, there was actually a fan vote too. So there was some community input into this. So
saw that. Yeah, they had a few decent options, but I think the fan vote is hard. If you're putting out those different designs, it's hard to make them different enough.
Right.
Yeah.
That I think D was the best option from those.
I would agree, because B
is just a FIFA kit creator kit, which isn't bad. Like, I made one like that for a team I had once, and I was happy with it. But it's a little more unique.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. Just keep it on this page for a second. I'm excited because Louisville's kit is coming out next week, and we're going with Puma, which is nerve-wracking for me because they are a template team kit provider. But if Louisville comes out with that B jersey, those pinstripes, I'll be okay. Yeah, that black with the purple, that'd be clean. I'd be okay with that. But for this team, I would have went with E. I like the multiple claw stripe. Yeah.
But I think that's just like a slightly cheaper template, to be honest, because it's not super detailed.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, for sure.
But that was the McKinney Jubra Cabra's black and white claw kits, both of them 2.51s here. Jack has a little bit time left with us, so we want to get to our final kit here. Our first ever USL Super League third kit that was released, which I was honestly kind of uncertain if this would actually happen. So here is what has been dubbed the Spokane Velocity.
Zephyrs.
Sorry, Zephyrs. Oh, gosh. Well, they did the blues. Falls blue kit, and they can't decide on what color scheme again. But
they have no idea what color they are, because the Velocity was this blue, and then when they announced the Zephyrs, they were also the blue, and they were going to do it, and then they came out with their stuff, and they were the white and gold. We're like, oh, okay, I guess they want to be different. They're white and gold. And then they came out with this kit. I'm like, I don't know what you are anymore. Just decide. There's a lot of emotions involved with Spokane. Spokane.
Spoken or non-spoken.
Right. What's your thoughts, Jack?
About to say, yeah.
I love this kit actually because, and maybe it's the wrong category, but it has Z's all over it.
It does.
And to me, that was worth a lot.
Okay.
Even if the logo was blue and then wasn't blue and now is blue on this kit, the badge works really well with it. I gave it actually a 5 for design and aesthetics.
Nice. I'll jump in with that. Yeah, actually, Spokane. Yeah, what if the Velocity next ones are gold? Gosh, I have no idea what's going on in Spokane anymore. Design aesthetics.
I mean, if you have 2 clubs, you should make copies and then switch them out, right? If one of them, you ordered all those kits, try them out, and
switch badges every time. Oh goodness!
Not against that.
Design and aesthetics. I give it a 4. I think it's clean. It's not too busy. Maybe just felt like there could have been a little bit more. This honestly kind of reminds me of the Adidas template from this year, with the dubbed armpit stains that a lot of the St. Louis fans have dubbed. But I do like the Z design throughout the jersey.
Yeah. No, and what I like, to Jack's point here, I gave it a 4 as well, is the Z pattern. It kind of is it kind of does tie into their authenticity and tradition, but that Z pattern is unique, and it does look really good on the kits. I like the shade of blue. I'm never against a good shade of blue, so I'm never going to be against that. I think it looks sharp, especially in contrast to their white and gold kits. I like this from the design perspective as only a 4 for me. Now, I do know, Jack, you have, I think, a few minutes left here. If you want to maybe just run through your rankings here real quick, wrap it up, so then we can have you,
Yeah, no worries. I know we're almost there, winding down. But in authenticity and tradition, I gave this a 4, just because that wasn't their crest color. I mean, I think it works to have that alternate look, but yeah, I think a 4 is still a pretty good rating.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I also gave it a 4. I think, as something that Taylor pointed down below here. Spokane is sticking to having their logo just being the design. Velocity and Zephyr have done that for all their kits, and he thinks it's so good. I think that they keep sticking with that. It's their thing. Run with it. It's a 4 for me.
Yeah, it was a 4 from me too. Copy and paste what you both said.
Easy.
Yeah, I think that is really cool that they are incorporating it, and it works well for the visual design and execution. The only thing I'm not a huge fan of is the shoulder squares. Everything else I think works well. I mean, I don't know if you have to do something on the shoulders there.
Yeah,
I think that's like Kelly. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like the Hummel chevrons or the Adidas 3 stripes. It's the Capelli squares.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's not as visually appealing as the other.
The Kappas, really.
Yeah, the Kappa.
But I think that the sponsor is pretty inoffensive. I like the look of it. It's not distracting from the shirt, and the white. The fact that both of those sponsors, and you usually see this on a third kit, is that the sponsors will be either the white or the black tone and matches the Capelli Sport logo. So I think that's pretty good. And yeah, maybe it's like you said, those armpit things are there, and you probably don't want those in white. But I think if those accents and the shoulder accents were white, it maybe could have. I don't have the design file, but I would want to see what it looks like with those all the same color.
Let me Canva that real quick.
Yeah. Spokane, we have some questions.
What about you, Brett? Visual.
I actually gave it a 2 here. Again, outside of the Z's, there isn't anything to this. I wanted to, obviously that is the whole design, but as we talked about, that is kind of the simplicity of it. To Jack's point, I wish the Capelli and the sponsor were at least the same color as everything else, all the accents, all white, all black. I just wanted to be one color. I think having the mixed matching colors is kind of visually kind of confusing. So I would have liked that a little bit, but as I said, besides that, it's just a Z pattern throughout the kit.
Yeah, and I gave it a 3. I like what they did with the Z pattern, but there's just so many other little things that bother me. I agree. Like, I would actually prefer everything to be all white
or gold.
Yeah, Kayla wants the Zephyr gold.
Yeah, I'd like that.
But otherwise, I felt like everything was good. Like, it's not an ugly kit, and if I was up in the Spokane area, I would want to pick this up real quick.
Yeah. And as I said, I was surprised that a Super League team released a third kit. I didn't expect that to happen year 1.
Yeah, year 1.
So
got bold.
I'm okay with that. Again, more kits. I'm not going to be against that. So.
And innovation and impact.
Yeah, it would have scored higher if their brand identity wasn't all the Z's and this was a revolutionary design. The fact that they do have other kits that are similar lowered that to a 3 for me. But again, I think the blue worked the best with this pattern. And it still is a great kit overall, 4 for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why they left the blue. Like, I don't know if they got the gold accidentally and they're like, we got these jerseys, we're selling them.
Or like a DC Power situation where they had like all the chaos with their kits.
Yeah. Or they are just going with the both teams, both colors, love Spokane, love type thing. I don't know. But I gave it a 2. It didn't fit right with me. It didn't feel innovative when you do the same thing kind of over and over again.
Yeah. And for me, I think most points for the innovation and impact is that it is a Super League third kit, first of its kind, and it's blue from their in homage to the Velocity of League One. As for most of its innovation, not much of the kit itself. So 3 there, which gets me a 3.25, and somehow Fox also with a 3.25, which gets us a 3.25, which I think sums up this kit pretty well. It's
What was your average?
What?
Mine was a 4. It was 5, 4, 4, 3, so average 4.
Okay. So yeah, so it's somewhere above the average and a little bit nicer and a little bit more effort. I think the design does most of the heavy lifting to these. And I think, to me personally, the color does a lot of it. I think that blue looks really nice. But I think 3.25, 4, somewhere in that range, I think is perfect for this kit. So
I agree.
which is dubbed, so the Spokane Zephyrs Fall Blues kit is this one. 2024-2025 Falls Blue kit. Any final thoughts here, Jack, on this kit or any of the other ones that we've talked about briefly?
Well, I mean, I think we're just seeing the overall quality of kits being elevated year after year.
Yeah, for sure. Like, it's been nice to see the creativity and the innovation coming out of even like what lower league soccer. Like, I feel like honestly better, especially after all the MLS stuff showing up recently. I would say there's like 4 or 5 kits out of the whole lot that I'd be like, oh yeah, cool, nice. So it's nice to have so many options coming out of lower league soccer.
Yeah. And it's something that you and I've noticed, Fox, in our 4 years of doing this, that we've seen a steady, continual increase in that quality and that design, which is really nice. And one of the things here that I totally forgot about this entire show is that bang for your buck value that we do for every kit. The best bang for your buck value from today's kit is actually the Texoma kit. Got a 45.59, which is, I believe, 3rd overall on the season that we've rated so far. So that's a good quality kit for $85 that we rated pretty well. So if you want some bang for your buck, Texoma one is the highest, and the other 3 are about a 35. So right on the middle in terms of its bang for your buck value. So forgot about that the entire episode. So
that's also an important consideration.
Yeah. So, and we take our score and divide it by the price of the jersey.
Yeah.
So then, you could have a really expensive jersey because we talked about the Hearts of Pine
110. Yeah.
And they're both expensive jerseys, but they both got really good ratings. So you get the high bang for your buck.
Yeah.
I mean, plus the Hearts of Pine, if you got the long sleeve, that's
if you're able to
added
have that
value.
already. I really hope they re-release, because that's going to be one of those ones that go in collectors' closets for years. They're not going to be selling that on eBay anytime soon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've signed up for emails, but once you restock that, give it to me, because I need more long sleeve kits here in USL. I've gotten recently addicted to long sleeve kits. I hope they do more soon. It did kind of die. I want to see more. That's what it's here for. So that's tonight's kind of kits here. Again, we talked about the McKinney Jubacabras, the white and black claw kits, the Texoma Bold Look for a New Era kit. It's not what it's supposed to be called. Again, these are just my nicknames. I hate home and just have fun with it. And then finally, the Spokane Zephyrs Fall Blues kit. Those were the 4 kits we rated tonight. Now, before we wrap up here, Jack, we just want to say once again thank you. And can you show off the kit you're rocking tonight in our favorite segment of the episode, which is kit
show off?
Yeah. Well, Brett, Fox, thank you guys so much for having me on. It was a pleasure to join. And tonight I'm wearing the Venezia, is it the 2020-21 third kit? I think I just have to double check my spreadsheet. Yes, it is. No, it's the 21-22 third kit. I have half of the set with the home, which I think is one of my favorites.
Yes.
Just the black and gold is so
That's
good. But
favorite.
I was like, I haven't worn this one in a while, and it kind of matches with the black and gold trim on the sleeve. So
it looks good. My wife's going to Italy this summer, and she's going to be in Venice for a few days. I told her keep her eyes out for Venezia kits because I will not say no to them.
excuse to go to Italy.
Exactly. Hey, no, I'm not going to Venice to see all the history. I'm going to go to look at the soccer kits.
Yeah, say museums, history, beautiful art. No, kits.
Yeah, I really like this one because it was a very high bang for the buck. I think it was on sale at Pro Direct. It was only $52. So
Nice.
it was the very end of the season, which I think we're almost coming up to that part of the European season. That's like one of the best times to score some kits at a deal.
Actually, that's what this one was. This is a Fanatic Cell.
Oh, nice. The Bruce Lee.
Yeah, the Bruce Lee. 23-24, right? Yeah, 23-24. No, the only thing that kills me though.
That's right, Kaylor.
It's authentic.
Yeah. So Taylor's talking about the band kit because they couldn't have the word Venezia on their shirt more than once in Serie A. Oh, Italian soccer being with their branding. Chaos it is.
And Brett, what are you wearing today?
I am rocking the Lane United. I think this is 2022 home kit. I call it the Lumberjack kit. Very plaid from the Pacific Northwest. Future League One team underneath a new rebrand coming up here in future years. So always got to rock Lumberjacks. And as you know, if you're a fan of the show, I love me a good collar so I can wear it to work because I like to look good at work and not.
Gotta be professional.
Gotta be professional. So, yeah.
That one, if you put a jacket over it, you might not even know it's a kit because you would cover up the Hummel and the crest, and if not for the sponsor, but
that's always the issue. Like, there's so many kits that if I wasn't wearing Purina across the chest, this would clearly just be a normal polo.
Yeah, especially St. Louis. So.
Yeah,
I'm not against that. But yeah, so once again, that is tonight's show. Jack, we really appreciate you being on with us tonight. We'll still, continue follow Jack on the socials. What is your
all your ats?
Yes.
Yeah, you can find me at Jack Grimmse on pretty much every platform. I'm not using Twitter anymore. I'm on Blue Sky, but also YouTube, Instagram, and I think most prominently is still TikTok.
Nice.
Perfect.
Yep.
So give our good friend Jack here a follow. And as always, follow, and subscribe to the USL show on YouTube and Spotify for more great content and interviews and conversations with more kid nerds that we keep discovering because we love talking. So that is, I don't know. Any other final thoughts before I just wrap things up? I love talking here at the end.
Right. No, we appreciate you, Jack. Congratulations on 22K up on the followers.
Thank you. I've stumbled upon a gold mine of Marcus Rashford fans. So
thanks, Rashi. Appreciate the follows from everybody.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, perfect. As always, we love and appreciate everyone for helping us. As always, join the Patreon that we gave shout outs. So thank you all. Have a great night, and we will be back next week, same time.
With another guest.
Another guest next week. So more stuff coming your way. Thank you, and have a great night.
Thank you for watching another episode of the USL Show.
The USL Show is now proudly part of the Protagonist podcast family. Please go to protagonistsoccer.com to check out more work. Thanks for stopping by. We'll see everyone again next time.